Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we are reacting to the 10, or not 10, just the world's dumbest criminals of all time. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it.
Who doesn't love a good story about a criminal mastermind pulling one over on law enforcement and sticking it to the man? Well, for every one story...
That's true. Now You See Me is like one of my all-time favorite movies. If you guys seen it, let me know. It is amazing, dude.
...of a brilliant...
The new one's coming out and I can't wait.
...criminal...
It might already be out, to be honest. I don't know. I'm just so out of touch right now. But
getting away with their audacious crimes, there are countless other stories of truly dumb criminals failing spectacularly at their attempts. A homeowner in Johannesburg, South Africa...
Wait, real quick, did you hear about that crime that happened at like that Italy museum where they robbed like millions of dollars worth of jewelry? That's kind of crazy.
...returned home to find their house ransacked and their valuables missing. They immediately called the police to report the burglary, and an officer arrived shortly after to take the homeowner's statement. The officer settled in onto the sofa and the homeowner took a seat.
Nah, the criminal was under the couch? Because look, he's right there. Bro.
Directly opposite the officer to begin recounting how they discovered that they'd been robbed. Just as the homeowner started to give their statement, they noticed something was out of place. There, under the very sofa...
Why would you just be under the couch? If you're gonna hide in the house, hide in a closet, dude.
...on which the police officer was sitting was a strange man.
Wait, no, not the closet. The closet, no. Hide in a cabinet. Nobody's gonna check the cabinet. Like, if you go under the sink.
Man, clearly trying and failing to be invisible. He was laying there flat on his stomach.
You'd have to be able to fit under the sink, but I could fit under a sink, so it's
half
fine.
Under and half behind the sofa, with his head right behind the police officer's legs. It turns out that the homeowner had arrived home before the burglar had a chance to flee, and he'd been hiding under the sofa as the homeowner called the police and waited for them to arrive. He was immediately...
That's when you just book it. Honestly, just book it.
...arrested. The homeowner's valuables were returned intact, and the police had a rare open and shut burglary case in the bag. If you thought hiding under the couch was a dumb move, wait until you hear about the Goldilocks burglar. In 2014, Martin Holtby and Pat Dyson, a retired couple from Lancashire, England, returned home from a holiday to the surprise of a lifetime. The first sign that something was amiss was the fact that their mail was not sitting on the welcome mat, and their house was clean, suspiciously clean. Pat clearly remembered that the
So he cleaned their house? Is that a criminal, or is that just W Mans?
house had been in a state of disarray when they rushed out the door to catch their flights. The sink had been full of dishes and their kitchen was a mess, and yet when they arrived back home they found a tidy kitchen and clean laundry in the dryer. Had someone cleaned up for them as a welcome home surprise? Not exactly. The couple made their way upstairs to the bedroom, and there, fast asleep in their bed, was a strange man.
So he didn't necessarily do much. Like, at the end of the day, if you clean the house, you're sleeping in my bed. Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit mad, sure. Like, I'm gonna be like, get out of my house. But I'm not gonna call the cops on you. Like, as long as you show me you didn't take anything.
They quietly snuck out of the house and called the police, who arrived quickly and arrested 28-year-old Lucas Choniowski. He'd been living in the house for days, cooking himself meals and washing his dirty underwear, and he had even bought groceries and cleaned up the mess left behind.
My thing is, did he do anything? Like, what was his crime? Other than just breaking and entering?
By the couple. The couple would later learn that the window cleaner had seen the burglar in their...
Also, what was going through his head? Sorry to keep pausing it, but like, what was going through your head? What could go through your head to think, hey, I'm gonna just live in this house for a bit and I'm gonna just clean up, do the dishes, do what I need to do, make things nice, makes things comfy, live here for a couple days. I guess that's like squatter's law, no?
Home, but assumed he was their grandson, since he had appeared to be quite at home in their place. The burglar admitted to his crimes and was given a 2-year conditional discharge and a £200 fine. None of the couple's valuables were missing, though Miss Dyson did note that the burglar had burned out an old saucepan, but she said, that happens. The Goldilocks burglar...
You know, I hate to say it, right, and a lot of people probably wouldn't, but I don't think I'd press charges. I don't think I would.
May not have been the brightest of criminal minds, but at least he was courteous. The same can't be said for these dumb criminals. In the summer of 2012, 2 drunken Welsh tourists made quite the splash at Australia's SeaWorld. 21-year-old Rhys Owen Jones and 20-year-old Kerry Mules decided to take their vacation on Queensland's Gold Coast to another level. After indulging in quite a few drinks, they decided to break into the SeaWorld's park for some after-hours fun. They left a trail...
Yo, that's so... So real, honestly. I could see it. Not dolphins. I don't like dolphins. Never have. You know, I just don't like dolphins. Like sharks, I could rock with, but I'll get eaten alive. But at the end of the day, okay. First off, sharks are so cool. If you want me to react to something about sharks, let me know. Link a video. Tell me what to react to, because I love sharks. Megalodons are amazing. Megalodons are still real, I hope. Okay, I know they're not. But let's hope. Let's somehow suspend belief and hope that the bottom of the ocean, and yeah, megalodons are sick.
Of destruction in their wake. The pair vandalized the park, jumped into the water, and swam with the dolphins, and set off a fire extinguisher in the shark enclosure. After having their fun, the couple decided to take home a souvenir, a real live penguin named
Yeah, these are sick guys. This is what I would have done. Like, I could see me doing this.
Dirk. When they woke up in their hotel room hungover and confused, the pair tried their incompetent best to care for Dirk, putting him in the shower and feeding him scraps of food. After their hangover subsided, Reese and Carrie realized how stupid they'd been to take the penguin.
So they had a real hangover moment. That's kind of a fun story, not even gonna lie.
So they thought that the best course of action was to release him into a nearby canal, where they were spotted by locals as they were wrangling the poor penguin at their vehicle. The police arrived and they were each fined 1,000 Australian dollars and sent home in disgrace.
My real beef I have with this crime is the fact that they tried to put it back in a river. Like, put it in a freezer. Okay? No, that's not what I mean. But, like, you know what I mean? Just, what do you even do with a penguin at that point? Wait, what would you do? That's a good question. What would you do? You wake up, penguin's there. What are you doing? Let me know.
Thankfully, Dirk was rescued and returned to SeaWorld unharmed. It's never fun to hear about crimes against animals, but this next dumb criminal should make you feel a little bit better. This thief got more than he bargained for when a simple robbery went horribly wrong. The amateur thief had noticed a parked car with the back windows rolled down and decided it was too tempting to pass up the opportunity for an easy score. He stealthily walked toward the car, and as he passed by, he quickly reached through the back window and snatched a heavy tote bag from the back seat. Little did the thief know that the car belonged to Brad McDonald, a professional snake wrangler, and that the windows...
Oh my gosh, I would have been so mad. Nah, if I... Oh, first off, why are you just stealing a bag? Because, okay, I get if you're a criminal. Let's just put our minds in criminal mindset right here. I'm going to steal a bag, sure. But anything could be in that bag. What if it was a murder weapon? What if it was nothing? Like, literally, you could have done someone a favor. What if it was just trash? It's just too risky to just steal a regular bag.
Had been down because Brad had left his latest catch in the car while he ran some errands. The dumb criminal hadn't found an easy score. He'd grabbed a bag full of highly venomous snakes that Brad had just captured from an underground car park in Sydney. That's what you get for being greedy. If that's not enough of a reminder to be careful who you rob, then this next story might just hit the point home. Just before Christmas in 2004, Jason Shinkarik's Winnipeg home was robbed. The thieves stole everything from clothing, jewelry, and watches to cologne and electronics. They also stole every drop of liquor in the house and even took Christmas presents from under the tree. To add insult to injury, the thieves even stole Jason's duffel bags to carry away their haul.
Chase, Dick couldn't even bring your own duffel bags. Crazy. Like, imagine just like, oh yeah, we're gonna rob this place, but we don't have anything. You know what? Let's just get our supplies at the place we're gonna rob. Genius.
Jason was devastated, but the small business owner knew he had to carry on with his life. So the next day, he went to work at his shop, Ponderosa Trading. That very same day, 3 men in their 20s appeared at the shop.
The fact that they pawned it in the same area. My thing is, why wouldn't they just take it out of town?
Looking to pawn a variety of valuable items. When the men placed the bags full of goods on the counter, Jason was shocked to recognize his very own duffel bags. He confronted the men, who ran away, but when the police caught up to them days later, thanks in large part to Jason's helpful and detailed descriptions, they were charged with breaking into Jason's home, as well as 3 other homes in the neighborhood, and sentenced to 3 months in jail.
So they weren't terrible. If they got 3 things, they just kind of played themselves by trying to pawn it at the owner's pawn shop, because they don't sound like they're terrible thieves if they got other houses.
Christmas is supposed to be a time for giving, but some dumb criminals just can't get it right. This one might just be even dumber than Jason's robbers. After a 20-year-old college student in Washington was booked for underage drinking, he spent a lonely night in a local police cell before being released the next morning. After his release from the drunk tank, he was caught on camera attempting to steal gifts from under the Christmas tree in the police department's lobby on the way out. After he
Aren't those fake? Right? Like, hey, first off, why are you trying to steal from police thing? Nah, if you're in the big house, dude, you're cooked.
realized that one box was empty, one held a box of tissues, and another was a box of tampons, the would-be thief fled, leaving the gifts and wrappings scattered in the station parking lot. Getting caught on camera is definitely one way to get spotted, but the way this dumb criminal got caught will really shock you. Milton J. Hodges attempted to rob a Lowe's hardware store in Orlando, Florida, but was chased out of the store by the staff. The failed thief bolted through the parking lot, ran across a busy street, and jumped a fence to escape.
Why does the staff have a shotgun in Lowe's? Like, I don't know if that's just for the, like, GIF or whatever, or for whatever this design's called, but, like, you know, it's America, guns, makes sense, fair enough.
Capture, but he wasn't in the clear yet. He had landed smack dab in the middle of the Cypress Cove nudist resort and spa, and as one of the only people wearing clothing, needless to say, he was easily spotted by police and arrested. You almost have to feel bad for criminals with dumb luck. But when
Yeah, what are the odds you just happen to go onto a nude beach? But why wouldn't you just jump in the water or something? I feel like there's a lot of things you could avoid. Maybe, like, because I've never committed a crime, I can't say that, but, like, if I was committing a crime, I also feel like I could get away with a crime, which in this video, I know it probably doesn't sound like I could, but you know what I mean?
a criminal obviously thinks they're smarter than the police, like this next dumb criminal, then they deserve what they get. Calgary police arrived at the home of a woman who claimed she'd been robbed. She was hysterical as she showed the officers the smashed window where the supposed thief had entered, and she tearfully gave her statement to the police, describing the jewelry and electronics that she claimed had been stolen.
And she's tall. Can I get that number? Yo, what's up?
Just as she was getting
No, I'm
really
kidding.
worked up,
That was
her
a joke.
phone rang. It was her French-speaking father, and the officers listened as the woman calmly spoke to her father in French. What she hadn't realized was that one of the officers, Charanjit Maharu, spoke 6 different languages, including French, and that he could understand every word of her conversation, meaning he clearly heard her admit to her father that her entire story was a lie, and it was all a scam.
Why would you say that in front of the police? Like, I get if it was like one of those housing fraud things, but in front of the police, what are the odds? Because imagine if someone was recording body cam footage. Nah, dude.
To get money from her insurance company with a fraudulent claim. Needless to say, some stolen goods were the least of her legal troubles. Lying to the police is dumb enough, but some dumb criminals just have to take it a step further. 25-year-old Valeri Portlock thought he had come up with a foolproof plan for finding new victims to rob. He had equipped his car with lights and an air horn and would pretend to be a police officer.
Can't that get you arrested already, though? Like, I feel like that's a terrible crime because you're just gonna get pulled over immediately.
To target his victims. His genius plan fell apart when he used his fraudulent police car to pull over a van in Long Island, New York. When Valeri approached the van, the occupants identified themselves. They were all members of the Nassau County Police Department's electronics squad. Realizing he was in deep trouble, Valeri fled the scene, only to be arrested a short time later by local highway patrol officers who had been tipped off by their colleagues. He was charged
Imagine pulling over the police. That's kind of crazy.
with criminal impersonation, reckless endangerment, and fleeing the police. Clearly pretending to be one of them is not something the police take lightly. It may not be quite as bad as impersonating a police officer, but this dumb criminal got what he deserved for pretending to be someone he wasn't. When an Iowa City man realized that his driver's license had been stolen, he was understandably frustrated. After dealing with the inconvenience of replacing
Yo, I'm trying to look like you. Can I get that beard, man? My beard, every time I get a beard, it like just never grows in properly, or it just looks really patchy. And I've tried the oils, I've tried everything. It's so bad.
it, he went on with his life and thought nothing more of it.
W
That
beard,
is,
though?
until a few months later, when a man showed up at the bar where he worked as a bouncer and presented him with his own ID to attempt to get in. It was an incredible coincidence and a rare instance of someone getting their stolen license back.
That's just bad luck, though.
Using a fake ID is pretty stupid, but sometimes being honest is just as dumb. In Santa Rosa County, Florida, state troopers pulled over a vehicle for speeding. The car had been traveling.
Did he not get charged? Like, I can respect that. If he's just like, give me back my ID, I can respect that.
more than 25 miles per hour over the speed limit. When officers searched the vehicle, they found a large amount of narcotics including meth, cocaine, fentanyl, and MDMA. What had prompted them to search the car in the first place? The fact that the criminal had stored their drugs out in the open in bags labeled bag full of drugs. The occupants were...
Well, you know, the thing is, though, you don't want to get it mixed up with the bag full of not drugs. Like the bag full of anything other than drugs. That's how they should label it. Bag full of drugs. Bag full of not drugs. Bag full of anything but drugs. Yes.
Arrested on drug charges, and the police made a tongue-in-cheek Facebook post about the drug bust saying, "Note to self, do not traffic your illegal narcotics in bags labeled..."
I don't know if you've guys seen that meme, but have you seen that meme where it's like, well, it's not a meme. It was like an actual sheriff's office where they're like, oh, drug dealers, report your fellow competition. That's like the best ad work ever.
Bag full of drugs. Our canines can read. This wasn't the first time the police had taken to social media with snarky comments. The Winfield, Missouri Police Department took to social media to warn the public about a potential new scam in which tricky drug dealers would rip off their customers by selling them smaller quantities than what they'd paid for. These dealers would apparently place the drugs on their cell phones, claiming they had a cool new scale app, when they were really just
Scale app, yeah, that's like that fake beer app or whatever back in the day.
typing numbers into the calculator to dupe their customers. The police graciously invited the gullible purchasers of illegal narcotics to bring their drugs into the police station to be properly weighed. Anyone who falls for that one definitely...
Nah, that's crazy. That is crazy work. Imagine being like, oh man, I think I got ripped off. Really, dude? You know the local sheriff's office, they're weighing drugs for you. Oh, okay, cool. And then they go,
deserves to get caught.
How many
These
people?
stories are
Please tell me
definitely
how
a
many
good
people.
reminder that crime doesn't pay. Although these dumb criminals clearly didn't get the message. At least their stories of harebrained schemes and poorly executed crimes make for a good laugh. If you
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, let me know. Please leave a like and subscribe. That video was hilarious. If you want to see more like this, let me know. I also want to do some history stuff. I love history. And some ocean stuff. I love sharks. I've already said that. Sharks are amazing. So yeah, let me know. I'll see you next time.